We call it the three-word game. We can describe every NFL game over the last week in 3 words. Here we go. Jets, Patriots, AFC's worst nightmare. Patriots have appeared in the last 7 AFC championship games. They get a bye. 9th straight year with a bye. They're rested. They're in Foxborough, and they appear to be healthy. Now, I don't think they're as dynamic offensively. Edelman's past his prime. This is Gronk's last year. He doesn't run the same. But their offensive line, they rebuilt it. It's fixed. Belichick is a great coach. Brady doesn't lose at home. And there is a chance with an upset or two they could get a warm-weather Charger team or a warm-weather Houston team or a kind of a rebuilding Indianapolis team at home. Watch out, AFC. Dolphins, Bills, did not watch. Yeah, Bills crushed them. I had better things to do. That was awful. Bears and Vikings, classic Kirk Cousins. Come on, season low, 132 yards. He's now, like 5-24 against winning quarterbacks? Again, you can't even overpay the great quarterbacks. If you're paying Kirk Cousins $30 million a year, it's over. It's over. You're going to be limited. They have 2 dynamic wide receivers. They have an excellent tight end in Kyle Rudolph. Delvin Cook, they have a very good young running back. Now, their offensive line is not great. But I got news for you. Deshaun Watson's got a worse offensive line, and he's in the playoffs. This roster, way too good to be watching the postseason on television. Eagles, Redskins, Foles me twice. I don't even understand it. Nick Foles is 9-2 in his last 11 starts for the Eagles. And to be honest with you, I think one of those losses was sort of a mail-in game last year in Week 17 where they rested a bunch of their starters. He tied the NFL record for 25 consecutive completions. He appears to be incredibly coachable. Watch out for Philadelphia. Watch out. This roster is outside of the secondary is really, really good, and it's experienced, Chicago. Get your seatbelts on. I think Philadelphia can upset Chicago this Saturday. Raiders, Chiefs, regular season champs. Kansas City's the AFC's number 1 seed, 12-4, the media darlings of the NFL. Listen, it's a great NFL franchise. Andy Reid, and I love him, is a great coach. Patrick Mahomes is flashy and Brett Favre-like and fun. But Kansas City has not won a playoff game since 1994 in Joe Montana. Watch out. Pressure. There's a little Red Sox feel to this team, like before they actually broke through. Had the players for years, couldn't quite make the play. Chargers, Broncos, mile high low. Since 72, Vance Joseph has the Broncos' worst winning percentage. I will say this. I grew up loving John Elway, but it looks like he missed on a coach, and he missed on a quarterback. And some of this is on Elway, who for years and years, Denver kind of lived in the ghost of John Elway. Now he's chasing himself. He's trying to find the next John Elway. And they've got an aging roster. Now, they do have 2 unbelievable pass rushers in Bradley Chubb and Von Miller. That's the core of your team, and that's a good core. But some of this is on John Elway. We can blame everybody else. And I love John, but in this league, if you get the quarterback and the coach right, you win. If you whiff on the coach and the quarterback, you don't, and that's where Denver's at. Cardinals, Seahawks, dangerous 5 seed. Seattle's won 6-7. They got a superstar quarterback, superstar defensive player in Bobby Wagner. Pete Carroll's always been really good with young rosters. Now, some veterans get tired of, Pete's kumbaya style, and it's kind of a lot of the speeches and a lot of the same stuff. But if you look at Pete's history, young teams, young coachable guys, Pete lines them up. They got a star on both sides of the ball, and the best fourth quarter quarterback in the NFL. You're looking at him, folks. That's him, not Tom Brady. That is the best fourth quarter playmaking quarterback in the NFL, and he'll be facing a Dallas defense, a real challenge. Browns, Ravens. Lamar's the story. Come on, he's 6-1. We're talking about Darnold and Baker and Josh Allen. Lamar Jackson's 6-1. Hasn't thrown an interception in December. I saw him live and I watched him yesterday. He is in complete control. It's heavily, it looks like a 1988 college offense, but I got to be honest with you. They run it really well, and they run downhill. They can kick field goals. They play great defense. They're great at home. I mean, would you be shocked if I said Lamar Jackson meets, whoever, Tom Brady in the AFC Championship? I wouldn't. Now, again, like the Chicago Bears, I think they're ceiling offensively. They're not built to play from behind. But yesterday it was all Baker Mayfield talk. Lamar's the story. 49ers Rams. Rams rested and ready. Todd Gurley didn't play last 2 weeks. First round bye. Last 2 weeks, 40 points. This is the way they kind of struggled in early December, and they said, you know what? We're going to rest some veterans. They got a scheduling break with Arizona and the Niners. Now they get to reboot it. Looks like Todd Gurley won't have taken a meaningful snap in a month, and they'll be at home. I don't know. I know. I still don't love their defense, but there is one way to cure a beat-up, fatigued team. Rest. And Todd Gurley is going to be fresh, and they'll be at home. Rams rested and ready. Lions-Packers. Rodgers hurt again. Listen, he's 35. I'm not blaming him. He got a concussion. Green Bay, do yourself a favor. Draft offensive linemen and then re-sign them. They've let a lot of good offensive linemen go through the years. Aaron's not a big guy. Aaron's 6'2". He's 215. He's not a big guy. Okay, he's not one of these, Big Ben, you can pound on him. He's 35. We've got, look at this thing, Joy, last 2-3 years. We've got multiple injuries. You got to protect this dude. You got to get a coach in there that does what the Colts did to Andrew Luck. Beef up the O-line. Say, Aaron, 3 steps. Get it out. Falcons-Bucks, walk the plank. Dirk Cutter's fired. Nobody knows the future of Jameis Winston. I like some of their players, but I heard a story this weekend. And I know the Glazer family. I liked them. Brian Glazer, I covered him. I like him. But, man, after a while, if you can't get it right and you keep running through GMs and coaches and quarterbacks, they're starting to feel like the Cleveland Browns with better weather. Seriously, they just feel dysfunctional to me. Cowboys-Giants, hooray for Dak. 4 touchdowns in a meaningless game. I wouldn't have played him. I got to be honest with you. I think they took some unnecessary risks. But I think Dallas feels like, you know what, he's young. We want to get him some reps. They sat Zeke and sit Dak, and he played very well late. Panthers-Saints, backup against backup. Kyle Allen faced Teddy Bridgewater. I don't know what I'm supposed to take from that game at all. Jaguars-Texans, weakest playoff team. Listen, Texans have the NFL's worst pass defense in December. They allowed over 300 yards a game, and I don't like their offensive line. Teams are funny. New England's now playing better late. Kansas City was great early. About a month ago, I really liked Houston, and today I don't really like Houston. I don't think you can go into the playoffs with a worst offensive line easily and come out of it. I don't like where Houston's at right now. Colts-Titans, good luck, AFC. They've won 9 of 10. Andrew Luck's contract now for the next 3 years is good. They've got 9 draft picks. Joy, they've got over $100 million of cap space. You got the dysfunctional Jaguars in the division. You've got the Titans. They don't know what they're doing with Marcus Mariota going forward. I'll say it again. The Colts, starting next year, I also think they have the best young GM in the sport, Chris Ballard. If they do half as well in the draft as they've done the last 2 years, you're looking at the beginning of an 8 to 10-year dynasty with the Colts. Bengals-Steelers. That's the pits. How can you tie for first in sacks, second in pass offense, 6th in total defense, and not make the playoffs? I don't even know how that's possible. If you just, how do you have that many they have Pro Bowlers in the O-line, quarterback, receiving court. They draft incredibly well. They went, forget Le'Veon Bell, James Conner, they went to a 3rd running back this year, and he could play. And they won yesterday. And for the record, it was so typical. Last night, they needed a tie by the Colts and Titans to make the playoffs. And I'm just trying to think of teams that have been this talented and not made the playoffs, and it is a really short list. I don't think, Peter King was on earlier. Peter King said, hey, only thing you can do, stay the course. You got the coach, you got the quarterback. I do think their secondary needs help, but I can't, top of my head, I can't remember a team with this many elite players, with that dysfunctional a division this year, 2 rookies and Jeff Driscoll, and you couldn't make the playoffs. Weird. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.